Welcome back to Beyond the Uniform. I'm Justin Asiri, and my goal is to help members of the military community thrive in their post-service career and life. Today is episode number 425, Who Not How, a book review. If you're new to Beyond the Uniform, welcome. Normally on the show, I interview military veterans about their civilian career, who they are, what they do, how they got there, and advice for other veterans seeking to do the same. This is a Thursday episode, which I've started to use for different skills, mindsets, book reviews, things like this. And the intention is just to share things that I'm learning that might help you in your own career. So today's book was recommended by a previous guest, Trevor Shirk, who's over at Terrain. And I'm really grateful that he recommended this book. A couple things just structurally about the book, and then I'll share some takeaways. I think the book is not well written, but I think the book has an incredibly important concept that is reinforced in the book. So I would recommend this book. It is essentially about changing the way that we approach leadership and business. Normally, when we have a challenge in our life, we ask ourselves, how can I solve this problem? And what the book is about is shifting, reorienting to approach this instead as who could solve this problem. A very simple example is when your toilet breaks, or when my toilet breaks, I call a plumber. I don't think of how am I going to solve this. My how is I'm going to find who has the expertise to come out and fix this for me. And there's a lot of benefits to this approach. One is you get access to that person's knowledge immediately. So rather than learning yourself, which is a slow process, you find someone who has much more expertise. And in many settings, you also have access to their network. And so if the who that you are looking for might be a recruiter, not only do they have the skill set to hire people on your behalf, but they also have a network of job seekers, which is really valuable. And another part that I like about this is it really underscores how vital it is to not micromanage, which is something I have a tendency to do. So the book goes through a process of being really clear about what you want to accomplish and how success will be measured. And once you do that, there's actually a worksheet that I'm using right now, a single page worksheet to figure out who you're needing. Once you define what success looks like and you find that who, you completely get out of the way of how they go about accomplishing it. So specifically from a quote here, once success has been defined, restrain yourself from needing to know or care how it gets done. Your only concern should be that it gets done. Let your who do their how. I think that's a really great mindset shift. And I think all of us who have experienced being micromanaged, it doesn't lead to good results. And so this is about being really explicit about what the person looks like that you're needing and what success looks like, but then getting out of the way for them to accomplish it. Building on that, another thing that I took away from this book is how important it is to view the people you hire as an investment and not a cost. So oftentimes when I'm hiring, I brought on an assistant over a year ago. At the time, I was like, oh man, I'm going to spend X more dollars a month on this person. That's viewing it as a cost rather than, certainly in retrospect, seeing it as an investment that frees up my time and frees up my mind space. And I cannot tell you how indispensable my assistant is now and how many higher level things I've been able to focus on because I found that who to take care of a lot of things in my life. And another just way of viewing this is that in case that feels too transactional, we are all someone's who. So when a client hires my company, I am their who. I am the one solving a specific problem for them. and I benefit from that. My company makes money and I get energizing work. And so it's not one way. There is a benefit to being someone else's who. I, in turn, have many who's who are helping me accomplish my own mission. And so, they make a case for expanding your team, whether that's contractors, whether that's employees, whatever it is, to free you up to do what you do best. A couple quotes to go with that. First, every time you invest in a vision, but specifically by hiring a who or bringing a who into your sphere, your commitment to that vision increases. And I do appreciate in the book how they talk about the more who's that you get around you, the more real your dream and vision becomes, and how the more lofty your mission and objective is, the more who's you need supporting you. A second quote, if you want greater freedom in your life, you'll need to focus on results. And that just goes back to being really explicit when you hire someone, of knowing what they need to accomplish, making that clear to them so they can succeed in turn. A couple other quotes that I think drive the point home. How is linear and slow? Who is nonlinear, instantaneous, and exponential? Another point they make is that only 16% of creative insights happen while you're at work, which is one of the reasons it's important to free up more of your time so you have room for that creative work. Let's see. I like this one too. They said, how you spend every second on this planet matters. You get in life what you tolerate. And it made me realize how much in my life I tolerate disorganization. I tolerate important things slipping by because I'm not willing to bite the bullet and find the who to figure out how to do it better. When you free up your time, you free up your mind. I've definitely found that true. The most useful thing you can do for other people is appreciate their value. I think every military leader knows that as well. I love this. I'll leave this last one with you. 80% is already getting results while 100% is still thinking about it. And by that, the author means that getting things good enough that you can move it on to someone else to take care of, or start getting feedback from a customer or the market. And so their point is get to 80%. Don't waste that time getting to 100% perfect, because the 80% that's getting feedback is going to be way ahead of that 100% that's still trying to figure things out. So those are the big takeaways that I had from this book. It's interesting because another book that I really liked is called The E-Myth Revisited. And the premise of that book is it's all about creating processes and systems and hiring people to execute those processes. This book is a little bit at odds with that because it's more about finding experts who have the network and knowledge to do what you need done, and therefore you can operate much more efficiently and fast. I am tending to come down right now on the side of who, not how, and I'm scouring for a few who's myself. So I hope you enjoy this book review. I hope you check out the book, and I will be back on Monday with our traditional format of interviewing military veterans about their civilian career. Take care.